being a translatable spirituality, it can be shared and applied in a universal context, which is represented by the greater community. It is not a human religion for a purely human environment. It has bearing on life everywhere, and thus its truth is universal. Though you may never in your life personally meet a visitor from the greater community, the greater community way of knowledge has a total bearing on the events of your life. It calls upon that which is great within you to emerge and to speak through you. It calls upon you to enter into relationship with that which is great within you. It asks you to be honest at a level that you had never considered possible or even necessary before. It asks you to honor your nature, not in a superficial way or in a condescending way, but in a way that lifts you up and takes you to a greater experience of yourself and life around you. The greater community way of knowledge represents spirituality and the greater community. It addresses the great need of your world at this time. The great need of your world at this time is for knowledge and for translatable spirituality, a spirituality that bonds people together and does not set them apart, a spirituality that establishes a medium of communication between all the divergent interests, groups, cultures and nations that are currently keeping your world in strife. It honors that which is true in all the world's religions and gives them a greater context in which to grow and to adapt, in which to change and to be applied. It is not here to replace the world's religions but to elevate them. In some cases this may be possible. In other cases it may not be possible. However, the truth is that a greater foundation for religious experience and human understanding is now needed in the world, and needed desperately. It is this great need along with the evolutionary movement of the world in which you live that have brought the greater community way of knowledge to you. The greater community way of knowledge is being transmitted through only one person. As long as this one person is capable of receiving and representing this teaching and tradition, it will be given through him, and he will be the medium for its expression. This is how great religious traditions have always been initiated and begun. Your history speaks of this. This holds true in the greater community as well. It takes one mind joined with the mind of the universe to begin to bring a greater ability and a greater result into the world. You are blessed, then, to receive this. You are blessed to be able to be among the first to receive a greater community way of knowledge. You receive this not fully understanding its importance, its relevance or its lasting significance for humanity. You can receive it because knowledge within you will receive it. It is the answer to your calling. It calls you, and you have called it. And finally you have come together. You have found each other. Perhaps your first encounters will be difficult and awkward. Perhaps there is a great deal of fear, suspicion and uncertainty. Perhaps you are afraid of what it might do for you or with you. There are many bad examples of human dedication in the world that can give an incorrect understanding and a false idea about the meaning of being in relationship with a greater calling in life. The greater community way of knowledge is not a path of belief. It is the path of inner certainty. It does not ask you to believe. Belief here is a temporary expedient to carry you from one experience of knowledge to another. Belief here is to uphold your position that knowledge is real, that it can be experienced and that it is of the utmost importance in your life. Your belief is an aid to your progress. However, belief can never replace knowledge itself. If it does so, it becomes a form of subversion, a dangerous and tragic demonstration of deception and unwilling participation. Within the greater community, there are races that are very advanced. They are not as common as you might think because when we speak of advancement, we speak of advancement in knowledge and wisdom. There are many races that are advanced technologically. And there are many races that have developed a stable social foundation. However, advancement in knowledge and wisdom is a greater and far different kind of advancement. You can only learn in an environment where someone who is more advanced than you can stimulate you, challenge you, support you and give you direction. Humanity has not been able to advance itself very effectively because it has lacked the presence of a greater and more advanced intelligence. In your own life, you will learn the most being around someone else who is more competent, more determined, more capable or more understanding than you are. People of lesser ability may make you feel good about yourself temporarily, but they cannot lead you into new territory. They cannot enable you to progress. They cannot enable you to advance. They can only confirm the advancement that you have received from being with someone who was more advanced than you. The greater community way of knowledge represents greater intelligence, understanding and ability in physical life. Therefore, it gives you a greater perspective and challenge in life. It calls you out of complacency. It calls you out of your assumptions. It gives you greater work to do and recognizes the greater nature within you that makes this work possible and necessary. You need this challenge. Perhaps you feel that the challenges of your life are already very great, but they are not uniform. They are diffracted. With a greater context for understanding and a greater dimension to your life can be brought into focus, and all the aspects of your personality, which can seem so divergent from one another, can be brought into harmony. With this comes tremendous power of application. A unified mind is a powerful mind. A powerful mind can effect change in life. This, indeed, is part of the reward and the benefit of participating in a greater preparation, something you did not make up for yourself and that you do not alter to meet your past references. A greater preparation leads you out of the past and into the future. With this future orientation comes the ability to live fully in the moment, in the present. The greater community way of knowledge represents religion in the universe. This is needed in the world now, not to become a great popular movement, not to have magnificent edifices built for it, but to become a foundation that generates a greater perception and understanding within human thinking everywhere in the world. If enough people can learn a greater community way of knowledge, they will spread this benefit wherever they go. From them it will resonate through many minds, like ripples extending out on the surface of the water. The ripple effect of knowledge will stimulate minds everywhere. However, in order for this to happen, a sufficient number of people are needed to advance and to learn this teaching fully. Humanity has always been advanced by a relatively small number of dedicated people. This represents development and progress in every aspect of human life. For these advancements to take place, a sufficient number of people had to be pioneers, and others had to substantiate what was pioneered. Then something greater could be established in the world. This is true in all aspects of human life, and it holds true in the greater community as well. You now have the possibility of learning a greater community way of knowledge. A greater challenge and a greater reward you cannot imagine, one which you will not be able to find anywhere else in the world. Find a greater foundation in life and you will find your purpose for coming here. If you can experience this consistently, then you will remember who sent you here. This will break the seemingly incomprehensible veil that separates the world from your eternal life beyond. This will return to you the essential relationships that abide with you, support you, nourish you and carry you forward. With this strength and this understanding, a greater contribution and a greater will to give will well up within you. This is a remarkable event and represents a unique expression of the greater life within the physical world in which you live. Receive this gift from the greater community. It is a gift born of your inner understanding. It is food for your own soul. It recognizes that you have greater relationships beyond the world and beyond the physical universe. In this larger context, a greater purpose and mission in life can be experienced. All that is presented in this book is made possible because the means have been provided. You do not need to be concerned with where it has come from or who has sent it specifically. What is important is that it is here, that you can respond to it and that you can benefit from it today, tomorrow and in the days to follow. The value of truth is that truth can be received, experienced, shared and given application where it is needed. In many cases, it is not necessary to understand where it comes from or where it is ultimately going. The greater community way of knowledge is in the world because the Creator is in the world. This is not a world apart. It is not separated from the Creator, and it is not separated from the greater community. This is so intrinsic in life, and yet it can seem strange and new to you. With the greater community way of knowledge, you begin to reclaim the reality of your life as it truly exists beyond fear, beyond preference, beyond fantasy and beyond human tribulations. The Creator is in your life, and the greater community is in your life. These together represent the larger panorama of your life and the greater purpose that you have come to serve in your own unique way.